Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. I am Old Man 102. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Alchemy Factory. So let's just run down here and check on things real quick. We should have a steady flow of coins going back up. Yeah, so that's nice to see. You guys starting to back up a little bit. You are. Nice. Alright, so what I might do, there's a couple things we were putting silver coins in manually on that I'm going to have to swap back over, and I don't remember where they were. We got nothing coming out of here because this was the box with the nails, so that can get disassembled at some point. We got some stuff in here, we got some stuff in here. What do we have? We're not making the blue ones yet. Yeah, we're not going to get anything with these because we just don't make enough of them. So I'm not going to worry about any random quests. Like I said, I think there were 2 boxes where I was hand feeding silver coins. Here's one of them. Alright, so we'll hook this one into gold. And there was one more. Where I was hand feeding silver coins. I have to figure out, once we run out of something, I'll figure out where it was. Alright, you guys are backed up, you guys are backed up. Mushrooms are backing up. Which means probably not going to have enough planks. Not going to have, because you're not backing up, you're not. So I've got to get logs over here. You're not. You're not buying anything. Alright, so I may have you buy logs, and we'll feed them in this way, and have these logs go that way. Let's try and fix this real quick then. So we will cut you off here. We will swap you. Nope. No, I don't want it going that way. I want it going this way. And it will have you guys feed this way as well, just in case. No longer have logs or planks coming up this way. I want to reverse this. Let's leave you there. This is going to get changed. So while we're waiting for this to run out, let's take a quick peek at, I think we're down to, yep, so we got everything else going except now we got to work on the transformation potion. So yeast powder, gloom spores. Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. Alright, we made about 100 grand. Let's knock this off. You are going to buy logs. And you are going to go this way. And that should take care of those. So should be fine here. Now I could buy logs here if we need to. Alright, let that back up on coins. Let me throw a few in here just to so it backs up a little bit. Alright, so now that I got rid of all my coins, we got enough for this one, we do. Now, blue potions. Alright, so you're backing up. Alright, so you should be, guys should be good. Should have enough to feed this way. All that for okay, so that fertilizer is going this way. Okay, so we're not getting enough fertilizer this way. You're coming this way. You're feeding three different ways. So now why am I not getting enough fertilizer? So, alright, let's do this. Let's go that way. Oh, hang on, you need to go. No, not the bottom one. Crap. This one needs to go 2 ways. There we go. Then these two will crank back up and use more mushrooms, which means these will start producing more boards as well. So I think we got that fixed. Let that run. All right, do we have any knowledge points? Oh, would be V. No, where's our knowledge? Would be Z. Yeah, we have no points right now. All right. So, blue potions. We need Coke, which is a pain in the butt, because now we need now I need planks to charcoal to Coke. To Coke powder. Yeah. And then we need gloom spores, which are gloom fungus and yeast powder. Gloom fungus, we know these things are a pain because now we're going to have a whole bunch of more extra planks we don't know what to do with. And then yeast powder. Hang on. So gloom spores, I need, yeah, so yeast powder. I need soap powder and fruit wine in a blender. So now we're going to have to make extra soap and linseed oil. Are we making enough soap to steal it from here? Oh, we could possibly steal extra soap from here. Switch this out from a small box to a large box and then pull from it. Okay, I think these are starting to fill. No, you're not really filling back up yet. You should. You got fertilizer coming out this way? We do. We got it going this way. Then going this way and feeding into here to make the better fertilizer with. Alright, let me just let it run. Alright, so we're going to need soap. I think we can peel soap off of here. Yes, so I think we can steal soap off of here. Now, can we make more if I need to? Yes, back there on that platform. We can make more if we need to. I'm sure we will have some extra. So I'm sure we can double this up if we need more soap. So we can steal soap from there. And then we just have to take the soap and run it through a grinder to get us the yeast powder. Nope. That's just going to get me powdered soap. Then we need fruit wine, which are red currants through an extractor. Now, can I steal red currant from here? Probably, because we're not using it here, we're not using it here, and we're not using it here, and I'm not using it here, so I can steal red currents from here, which is cool. Actually, I just have to pull it out of here. I just have to get rid of this. We're making it right here. So we can do our soap powder right here. Hang on, let's look at this again. So we can make our yeast right here. We can, oh, gloom spores. I'm not going to have enough mushrooms, though, to steal from here. Or will we? Which means we're going to end up with more planks, but that's fine because we can feed them back into here. So we can set something up here for more mushrooms. And we're probably going to need... Why do you guys have regular logs? You should not have regular logs. You should have... Hang on. Yeah, you should not be doing regular logs. You should be doing... You guys. I think... No, because you won't be crap. Yeah, because see, now I'm going to have mushrooms going. Oh yeah, mushrooms go in there and then it'll get separated out. Yeah, so you should be doing... All three of these should be doing... these. I think it was because I didn't have enough money over here. But you should also be doing these. That's going to give me more mushrooms on this line. I don't think we're going to have enough though, but I don't want to pull coins off of this line. We may have to bring more coins back. So we may have to bring some coins back from here. Can I? No. May have to steal some coins and bring them back. Ah, so you're going to start backing up. No, you're going to start... You should see more mushrooms. Can I steal any mushrooms from here? Might be able to steal mushrooms from here. And then make more back here if I need to. Because we could switch you over to mushrooms. We could switch you over to mushrooms. And then I can steal them from here. And we can make more back here if we need to. Let me get myself a little bit of room. So we could bring this over, we could bring soap over, make the soap powder. We can grab mushrooms from here. My only concern is getting more coins back there. But once these regular logs run through, they'll switch over to the ones with the spores on them. What's your holdup? Nothing. You're probably as best as you can get. All right. I'm not going to mess with it. But we do have another point to spend. What do we have? Fertilizer, nutrient. Yeah, let's go ahead and... confirm that one. Yeah. So we'll get better use from our fertilizer. As long as we're making $100,000 a day, I am happy. This recipe is going to pull my hair out. I'm not even going to think about the coke powder yet. So soap powder and fruit wine. Fruit wine's easy, we already have it. Soap through a grinder. So let's get one, two, three, four going for now. And then we will throw them in a small box. Alright, so we'll have soap powder here. And now we need the fruit wine through a blender. This one may be a little bit more difficult because those pipes are a pain in the butt. So I'm going to need a blender. What do you look like? A blender. Actually, hold on. Can I throw the soap powder in here instead? We already have it set up. So we'll get soap powder out instead. And now we can feed, so I can feed soap powder into you, I can feed soap powder into you, I can feed soap powder into you. And I can feed soap, let's start with just a few of them. So you need to be disconnected from here. And you need to be disconnected from here. Now the problem is I'm going to have to feed them under no, so I cannot connect you. I can connect these three and get them out. I don't have room to go up. Oh, crap. Alright, can I? Oh, I can't. Alright, so I gotta feed soap into these three, which won't be a problem. So we can grind our soap, instead of grinding our soap over here. We can grind, we can feed our soap in over here. And I can only use 3 of them. And we'll have to change your recipe to yeast powder. Need to change your recipe to yeast powder. And I need to change your recipe to yeast powder. So let's get, wrong one, Q, U. Give myself a few extra spaces in case I need them. Yep. So we're going to bring our soap powder this way. So we can steal soap from here. Yes, I can. Let me give myself a couple extra spaces if I need them. I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go... Well, is there any reason not to? All right, hold on. Let's give myself some room to run some belts underneath it, just in case we have to. Oh, I need grinders though. Crap. Alright, we gotta grind the soap first though. Well, that's gonna be easy. So I will need grinders. I'm going to do 4 at first. So we'll bring the soap powder. We'll bring the soap this way, run it through the grinders, and then we'll run it out this way, that way. So the soap powder will run in there. So we just need to bring soap this way. So I'll bring soap over this way, run it through the grinders, soap powder in, and then we shall get yeast out. So we have yeast to there. Now we need to combine yeast and gloom spores through an assembler. So now we just need to figure out where to get more spores from. I'm so tempted to empty these and just trash them. We still making a ton of money. Whee! Alright. Yeah, you're backed up. Well, we are, but we're not. These are not backing up. We're running low on coins. Oh, here's where else I was feeding gold coins in, but you should be fine. So your belt's backed up. Your belts are backed up. Okay, not getting a lot of green potions. Why? You missing? No, you're just slow. Okay. So green potions are going to be a problem. We may have to bump them back up. We always fix one problem and create another one. Well, you're going as fast as you can as well. So we're selling them and reusing them. That's the problem. I'm not going to mess with it. Let's do this. I'm going to grab these logs and then just trash them. I don't need you in my pocket either. I don't need sand in my pocket either. And then you. Let's get you guys switched over so I can get more pink spores, and then we're no longer going to send them this way. We are going to combine them with this guy and get, and then I'll make more back there if I need to and bring them up this way. Do I want to add a buffer in? Why? No reason not to. Yeah, there's no reason not to. Alright. And I'm thinking the same thing with the mushrooms. Let's go this way. Do I want, yeah, let's leave ourselves a bit of room. So they're going to come down this way, go into there. So let's bring you into there. So that's going to get us those 2 ingredients. Well, part of 2 ingredients. That's going to get us our, so we need an assembler, which is where? Here. Crap. Only room for 1 for now. You're going to make us gloom spores. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I can feel my YouTube sneezes coming on. Oh. So let's feed you that way. We will feed you that way. So now we're going to have gloom spores. Might as well. Alright, so gloom spores. Part of the equation. Alright, so now we've got to work on coke powder. So I need coke through a grinder. So I need coal powder through an anther. Or coal through a crucible. Rather do coal through a crucible. So coal through a crucible. Alright, why? Oh, you got mushrooms on this line and you're completely screwing me over. How do we get mushrooms on this line? Oh, right here, because they're not going through, damn it, a sorter. Damn it. Alright, I gotta get the mushrooms off of this line. You're going through this. These two are not going through this sorter. Damn it. Then let's do this. Ah, crap. All right. We're making our $100,000. So that's going to get them all through a sorter. Now the problem is I'm not going to get them all going that way though. Yes, I will. Crap. I need to get that mushroom out of there, and I need to get that mushroom out of there. And unfortunately, let's see if I do that. Yeah, there we go. And if I do that, and there we go, like that. And I got another one. I've got one in here. Yep. And then we just go like that. I think that gets us back on track. Damn it! Where are you guys coming from? Where did that mushroom come from? So I've also got to get, let's do this. There we go. Now, I'm not going to have as much mushrooms as I want. But we can rectify that because we're going to have to make charcoal. I'm so tempted to switch these over and grab the mushrooms off of them. So if I change you over, I can get mushrooms off of here and I can get mushrooms off of here. And then that will also give me more planks. That is definitely a possibility. Now I'm also going to need to buy coal. And grind it down through a crucible. All right, you're still not getting enough planks. Because we stopped feeding them into here. We fix one problem and cause another. All right. So let me just cut you off for now. You're going to go that way. And then we're going to have to buy logs. Regular logs here. And feed you guys this way. Alright, so I'll give that time to catch up. Now, is there enough planks feeding this way? There is not. Can I steal any planks from over here? Yes, because we're going to switch these over to mushrooms. So I'm going to need to feed them into here and pull them into here. And then I can pull planks from here over to here. All right. Mushrooms are still backing up. Mushrooms are backing up. Can I fit you there. So I've got to get you so that means I should get more feeding through here. Which means more logs will filter through, more planks will filter through here. Which will put out more of the better fertilizer, which is feeding this way. They're starting to back up. Okay. Now, we're not making enough soap again. Now, I knew that was going to be a problem. Okay, we're still kind of backed up for our sales. All right, so back to the problem over here. So, I need to change you over to spores, and I need to change you over to spores. Which I'm going to need to feed all of the lumber through here. And then we're going to steal lumber from here. So I'm going to need to, how do we want to do this? So I need to switch you over to the logs with the mushrooms. I need to switch you over to the logs with the mushrooms. Then we're going to have to feed lumber back in. I can move you guys back. So let me tell you to stop buying logs. And then I'm going to have to reconfigure this. So I'm going to want all of the wood to feed through here. And then we'll pull it from here. So we'll need to feed wood over and then back. Now, once I reconfigure these, we can separate it and keep the same line. I need to get more into this box though. Let me do this for now. Let that one just feed this one. And then I'll switch this one over to going this way. Oh, come on. You're not going to do that to me, are you? Well, let's do it the hard way. So now we feed you that way as well. I'm going to have to double feed this one line. We're going to swap these over, we're going to get a lot more lumber. And a lot more mushrooms. You are not working as intended either. I got to get more mushrooms off of these two, since one sorter's not cutting it. So I've got to get more out of this. I got to feed these into a couple different sorters. So I've got lumber coming off the bottom, and I'm going to have spores coming off the top. But I'm not going to have enough room over here to do so. So I'm going to have to move you guys. So each one of you needs your own sorter. So you're going to need your own sorter, and you're going to need your own sorter. And then I got to get the lumber out of the bottom and the mushrooms out of the top. So if I put you here, crap, how did you get, that's not going to work. So I need lumber out of the bottom, mushrooms out of the top. I may have to rebuild this off camera and just move some of this stuff around. After we get this annoying part out of the way. Alright, still making 100 grand. So I cannot reconfigure. Actually, yes, I can. Hang on. So I need lumber on the bottom. I can feed the lumber into the here. So bottom is going to be lumber. Top, damn it. Top is going to be mushrooms. Now I can bring the mushrooms give myself a little bit of room. So I could bring the mushrooms down. Ooh, give me a table. I like having the extra spaces. So we can bring the mushrooms down over here. And then tie them into here. Gives me a little bit more room over here. So we can come down. I thought I put the ramp in place. Here. I can tie you guys into here. And then we can bring the mushrooms here. Now I just need to get your mushrooms out of the top and tie them into here. And now I've got to get you separated, which I could probably do over, or I can't. I can. It's gonna be a little bit difficult, but we could bring you over this way and separate you here. And then I gotta feed the lumber back onto the bottom belt and feed the mushrooms onto the top belt. Okay, this one's gonna be a little bit more tricky. Because you've got to come, crap, up here first, and then I'm going to need a sorter. Crap, I'm going to have to come back down. I'm going to need to come down. Your bottom one is going to be, damn it, your bottom one is going to be lumber. Your top one is going to be mushrooms. So your lumber, crap, your lumber needs to get, your lumber needs to get fed back this way. And then I need to get mushrooms out there. Now, mushrooms are still not backing up. But you're full. So you should start backing up. Are we getting enough planks over here? Now we are. You're still getting enough mushrooms. Our evil plan is starting to take place. So now I just got to get you switched over and you switched over to making to the logs with the mushrooms. And then I'm going to have to reconfigure these to send the mushrooms that way and the lumber this way. But we are an hour in, so we'll finish this next time. I am Old Man 102. Please smash that like and subscribe on your way out and have an awesome day.